What's up, everybody? Well, I got another Asus Ally gameplay video for you guys today. And today, we're doing ourselves some Subnautica 2, which is actually surprisingly playable on the Steam Deck. Yeah, it had to do everything on low, with upscaling on performance helping it out, but it was still playable. Now, maybe later in the game it would have failed and gone down into the 20s, but hey, I didn't get that far, so I can't make that claim. It could have also just been the same performance I had at the beginning the whole game. Also don't know. Can't play the whole game on every system. I'd have no time to do anything else with my life. Anyway, I'm gonna wait for these things to get done. I gotta go install it on all the rest of these, so luckily you guys don't. So we'll hop on in, look at some settings, and see what these things can do. All right, we're gonna start off with 1080p high. It's not really gonna be 1080p because we have to use FSR for it to even be remotely close to being considered playable, but even with that, I don't really consider it that great of an experience. Although I did notice after the fact, but I was having more loading of shaders happening in the background that I didn't notice because the dang stat windows are always in the way. And usually after it does the initial shader thing, I don't think I've played too many other games that have it happen again, so I think on the white one I messed up.
Oxygen. Potential donor found. Suit surface detects molecules matching the organism from the sleep bay.
I can hear you. Sophie says you're a hallucination, just a virus, but I know you're listening. We're so hungry. There's food all around us, but it's poison. Will you help? If I feed you, will you feed us? This is my body, given for you. Just help us eat.
Dehydration.
So, now we're gonna go ahead and do some 900p. I can't remember when I finally noticed that stupid thing, but I know it's during the Allies. At some point I noticed, hey, we should probably let the shaders, finish doing their thing before we start the actual recording process. So, sorry about that. I think on the Steam Deck video I was a little messed up on that too. But, at least, I'm sure by the time I got to the camera recorded portion on everything, they were all done doing what they're doing, so another reason I'm glad I do that. But alright, let's get to gaming.
Seek medical attention. User death imminent. Oxygen.
So now we're doing 720p, low settings, and this is your best bet for getting the closest to 60, but none of these weaker systems can do a constant 60, I don't think, in this game. I mean, maybe the Xbox Ally X was able to, but I don't even think that was. I think I had to get up to the small form factor PC before I could finally get 60 plus. And it still needed help from upscaling to do so.
From hand tools to corrosion-resistant habitats, titanium is an ideal structural material. Oxygen. Do not hesitate to use oxygen for survival purposes, but always search for unexpected complexity.
So we're going to start all over again at 1080p, even though we know it doesn't work that awful well. There's still some people that could probably play like that, so I want to get a little footage. And I did at this point. I'm pretty much positive I noticed that shader thing was here, so I don't think I got any recordings with that still doing that. I can get on the white one, I still hadn't noticed that yet. But alright, let's get some games.
Enzymes to your stomach lining. You may now digest freely.
So now we're not RP medium, which definitely gives us a lot more playable FPS. There could be some spots in the game it might still drop under 30 here and there, but I think for the most part this is going to be like a nice high 30, mid 40 FPS experience. So if you can deal with that, it's a nice experience. If you cannot, I would just go with low. And if you're 60 plus or nothing, I don't think I'd play on these systems.
Oxygen. Print lost to suffocation. Reprinting. Oxygen. Oxygen.
So, last up, 720p, and we couldn't still quite get to no 60. We're in the 50s and sometimes even the high 40s, depending on where we are. But, alrighty. With that, we're already at the bottom, so you know what that means. Time for some more gameplay.
Heat level beyond tolerable. Oxygen. Commend adaptation. Heat warning. Oxygen.
So, last up here, we're going to do the Xbox LX, so we're going to start over again on high. And this one actually seemed like it was pulling ahead a little bit, because the other ones were struggling to stay above 30, and this one was more in the high 30s and 40s. So, finally got to find a game where it pulls ahead on high. A lot of the games barely seems any different than the other ones on the higher settings. Now, on the lower ones, it'll sometimes pull ahead, but most people probably like, oh man, it's more powerful, I want to have some higher settings. Nope. But in this case, yes.
Oxygen. Oxygen.
So, now 900p, and now this one didn't really seem that different from the other systems. A little bit faster, but it wasn't as big as the being on high was. Now I think low is again another jump, but for some reason medium didn't seem that different from the older systems. Don't know what was going on there, but hey, at least it's still playable. For those who don't care about 60 anyway. But alright, to the game.
Oxygen. Starvation. Seek medical attention. User death imminent. Print lost to starvation. Reprinting. Oxygen.
So, last up, 720p. And I think with this we almost get, I think we do almost get over 60 now, but I think it still does drop under. So you can't say, yep, it gets 60 plus. But anyway, let's hop into the game, let's see what it can do. Alright, let's do a little camera recorded gameplay.
Use of death imminent. Reprint complete. You have experienced conditions incompatible with life. Your brain state has been restored to a new body. Some colonists prefer to return to the accident site to retrieve lost items and verify their last print exited cleanly. Consult your data bank for emotional and philosophical support. Death is certain for the born and rebirth inevitable for the dead. You should not, therefore, grieve the inevitable. This quartz contains dead coral polyps. It may have oxygen, a coral dome.
It may afford oxygen. Awesome. Maybe we need more stuff before we can make the battery. We'll find titanium and stuff, but I'm not really finding copper.
Oxygen.
You're a creepy ass looking thing.
Oxygen.
Inventory full. We gotta go back. Let's see if we can do anything with this titanium. Alright, well, how do we get rubber? Ah, so that's how you can get copper. You gotta find those acidic radion pouches. Oh, we need silver too. How do you make silver? Let's make some glass. Alright. Anyway. Sorry that a lot of that was just me looking at the settings screen there. I was just trying to figure out what all we can make and progress. But I think it's time we move on to the next ally. Alright. Let's get a little camera recording gameplay now. Alright, what else do I need to make that? Alright, you need copper. You can make rubber. And grease.
Of all the equipment available to TSF frontiersmen, only this demilitarized switch axe is approved for colonial fabrication. In untrained hands, firearms are primarily used to harm other colonists or the self.
Take that.
Copper
Hey,
is
we
key
found
to
copper.
simple electronics. Bacterial action creates copper on cave roofs and overhangs.
Well, now we know where to look for them. I wonder, do we already have enough?
Oxygen.
Yeah, I know the oxygen. I'm almost always out.
Seek fresh water intake.
Ah, I need new water. Alright, so we still need that acidic radion pouch. I thought I picked some of those up. Guess not. Wonder where those are. Well, either way, where's that water? There we go. With this button, yes. Alright, so we need to find some of that. Alright, do we have some storage here? I don't know if you can use them from there, if I have to keep picking them up, so. Alright, now we gotta find that weird sack thing.
Noetic advisor has transmitted an alert. At your convenience.
Okay. Not exactly what I wanted, but now we've got some more quartz. We gotta find that sack. I doubt we can make such a thing. Ouchie. I got all electrified.
Oxygen. There is no sign of plant life on this world. This waxy fiber is closer to vinyl or latex than cellulose. Committed vegetarians should expect protein.
Anyway, I think that is probably good. Why don't we go ahead and move on over to the next ally? Alright, let's get a little camera recorded gameplay. I still can't believe how much they improved on the speakers. They were already so good, and they made them even better. But my favorite thing is definitely the ergonomics. Everything else is a bonus. Now, if only it wasn't $1,000. That's such a hard sell for most people. Now, if it could like play games on high graphics, native, at 1080p, then that'd be probably a pretty easy sell. Because hey, it's portable. But if you want that, you need one of those AI chips, and those are like $2,000 for a handheld with good battery life and all that stuff. So right now, there's just not a viable one. That's why this is one of my favorites. There are some Intel ones that outperform this in some games, though. The only problem is they can be hit or miss. They can dominate this in 1 second, but the next second it's losing by 20 FPS in another, or not even launching the game because they don't like upgrade their drivers great. So I still think I might want to get one eventually, because we don't have a single Intel one on the channel. So it'd be kind of fun to have an all Intel build, even if it is just a handheld, you know? Alright, anyway. We need to find... let's get some more air first. We need to find that weird sack thingy. I mean, I doubt it's the kind of thing I can make, but we gotta find that thing. That's a medical sack. That's not what we need. Stew poison.
Oxygen.
I wonder nothing in this last time I grabbed one of these. Yeah, that doesn't mean it's gonna happen every time. Oh, well, who knows? Those might be useful for something later. Anything else down here? A bunch of quartz up there, that's good to know. Alright, let's put some of this stuff away before we lose it. Last thing I want to do is die with losing my copper. I mean, I did, but luckily it was right here, so it's super easy to find. Oh, no, not that. Yep, we don't want to lose copper. Everything in there, fuck it. don't know where that one thing is. Hopefully I'll find it eventually, but for right now, it just seems elusive. And I don't want to look it up. I know I could easily just ask Google and find everything out instantly, but what's the fun in that? I like trying to find everything out myself. I'm a stubborn bastard. Only if I've resolved every single thing I can think of. Then I'll be like, okay, let's finally look it up after like days of failing at the thing. Oh, we got battery for this place. Until then, it is mostly useless. Where's that? Is that more titanium? Yeah. Alright, yeah. If I try to go all the way down there, I won't be able to get back up, and that will suck. I can already see IGN's review of it. 6 out of 10. There's just too much water. Sorry, there's just too much water for me. Anyway, I guess we're gonna have to find that stupid thing if we ever do on another PC. Because right now, no luck. So let's wrap up. Well, all right, guys, that's a wrap for Subnautica 2 on the Asus Allies, and it's definitely a playable experience. Well, as long as you don't want to use high. At least with quality upscaling, which would kind of ruin it if you tried to go and drop it to balance to performance or whatever. So I would just probably go with 900p or just drop everything to low and just try to get as much FPS you can get. Now the Xbox Ally X is actually able to give us a pretty pleasant experience on all of them. Now I would like 60 plus, but all of these are under the minimum specs I do believe, just like always, so the fact that they can even give us even remotely playable FPS is always nice in my book. Can't expect miracles after all. Either way, that is all for the video. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video because I sure as hell enjoyed making it for you guys. And I'd give you a peace out with the old right hand, but it still just is not working correctly. So instead, a left-handed peace out. And until the next video.